Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial sort of video. Today I'm going to be covering a really cool system. It's an inbound system which sort of re-engages dead leads in your CRM and just makes it so you send them a last minute sort of offer, and it increases your booking rate by quite a lot because these dead leads haven't been talked to in like over 30 days, 60 days, and you're sending them SMSs, which is really high intent instead of like an email, and you send them a sort of offer that they can't really refuse, and then you sort of re-qualify them and then you get them onto a sales call. So it's a really good way to squeeze the most out of the leads that you have, and yeah, it's actually really quite simple to make and really quite effective, and it's all sort of automated and AI powered. So yeah, without further ado, we'll jump in. Okay, so this is sort of a second part to an inbound system. Obviously the first part's going to be qualifying leads and putting them into your CRM, following up with them, but this sort of takes place once the lead is dead or hasn't responded to your emails. So it triggers after 30 days or 60 days. We do it twice, and then after 60 days we end it because you don't want to sort of spam them with SMS. But how it works is it's going to increase the number of qualified sales calls in your calendar by 20% if you do it right, because you have to do the right sort of offer. And obviously, as all AI sort of automated systems, it's going to run in the back end, and it's going to take advantage of all dead leads, which a lot of agencies struggle with. They sort of just have all these leads in their CRM that they've stopped following up with, and this takes advantage of it. So I'll run through how it works and then I'll show you the actual automation, but I'll start with the sort of overview of it. So when a lead is entered in your pipeline or CRM and has been dead or just not interacted with for over 30 days, so let's say you sent them some emails and some follow-ups and they haven't responded, this whole entire automation is going to get triggered. The lead is then sent like an SMS with a late offer to hook them back in. So this is really dependent on what you sell. So if you're an agency, it might be digital marketing, like a social media marketing, whatever, SEO. You might say, I'll show you guys examples of what I actually write in the message, but it's not too long. It's just a quick, it's like, hey, just checking in. You want to personalize it with their name and stuff like that, but you just want to say, hey, just checking in. We have a $100 discount on our SEO service running at the moment. It's a one-time only. And then yeah, you want to say something like that along those lines, and then whatever the service they actually wanted is, you don't want to just give them a random service that they're not interested in. And if they respond with interested or show me more, then AI will trigger and begin qualifying them with the same SMS conversation, but with AI. So it then sends this same conversation to an external like sort of chatbot. I'll show you guys what that is in a second. There's plenty of different softwares you can use for that, but I'll show you what I do. And then the lead's prompted to message stop if they want to opt out, because you want to give them a chance to opt out. It's with SMS, it's like some laws and stuff behind spam and stuff like that. So you want to allow them to sort of end the whole conversation by just typing stop, and then that will trigger the scenario to end. Then what happens is AI will ask questions in the conversation with the chatbot running. It will be like, what's your goal with the service? So this is good because it sort of sells your service to themselves, because they speak about why they want it. So it kind of convinces them subconsciously. And then you don't want to ask them too many questions though. You want to really keep it brief in the SMS and push them onto a call like very quickly. So you just want to say, we'll run over this quickly in a call, and then you send them your Calendly invite link or your Google Calendar link, and then the lead will just book in a call through the SMS conversation, and then that's basically it. Your CRM will update. And then if they don't opt out, but they don't actually book a conversation, they don't book a call, but they don't opt out, the system will repeat in another 30 days. So hopefully on the 60th day, they actually do book a call, but yeah, I don't want to run it more than twice because then it gets a bit sort of spammy. But yeah, I think twice every 30 days is a really good way to just take advantage and squeeze the most out of the leads that you're not really interacting with anymore. So now, why this works so well, I'll jump into the build in a second, but I'll talk about why this works. Agencies and any business can take advantage of this, but any business, on average, they have 95% of their leads as dead leads or cold leads in the CRM. So this sort of does all the dirty work that no one really wants to do. A lot of agencies don't really like following up with leads that aren't really interested. They'd rather just focus on like the high intent leads, but this is all done in the back end, so it's really high power. It's really like high intent. Sorry. The system also follows up with 500 leads for a marketing agency. This is an example. If the system follows up with 500 leads for a marketing agency, if 1 to 2 leads close, that's 2 to 5k per month that would have died otherwise. So you really don't need a high conversion for this system at all, and a lot of businesses have a lot more than 500 leads that are dead. So you can this will be running quite often, and yeah, as I said, if even just 1 to 2 out of 500 or 1,000, even if 1 or 2 close, that's a lot more extra monthly income. And it's extremely low friction for the agencies. You don't have to change their CRM, increase their ad spend, scrape leads. It's all inbound automated, so it's super easy for a business to sort of implement this system. It's not going to take much time at all or change much of the current sort of operations, and it easily pairs with like initial AI lead qualification system. So this is kind of how I think about this as like a phase 2 of an inbound sort of system. So phase 1 is going to be the initial form fill outs, the qualifications, the immediate follow-ups, the personalization, cold email, stuff like that. Whereas this is sort of phase 2 of an inbound system. So if you have both of these sort of AI automated systems in your inbound, it's honestly really powerful for a lot of businesses. And then because this repeats more once every 30 days, ensures no leads slip through, so it squeezes the most out of all of them. If it only ran once, you'd miss out on a few. Running it twice will squeeze the most out of it. And since it's via SMS, it's more direct and more personal than an email. You could definitely do a system with email, but with SMS, it sort of catches them off guard and increases reply rates by quite a lot. Now I'll jump into the actual build and I'll show you a couple of the automations briefly. Okay, so I'm in my Mac.com. You guys can use N8N, I'm sure, or any sort of software where you can do automations, but I'm just going to do it in I'm just going to do it in Make. Yeah, so you're going to need 3 scenarios for the different parts of this automation. So I'll jump into the first one. This is where you send the first offer to the lead. Basically, it's a search rows where you want to get a lead. This can be like your CRM, HubSpot, whatever, but I'm just going to use Google Sheets. It's basically where you get the leads that have been in your CRM for over 30 days. So this will be the leads that are sort of dead or haven't been replied to in 30 days since. So yeah, you're just going to find the row where it's like last email sent 30 days or whatever. You just have the date in that. You have the date in that cell, sorry, and then you want to get that submission date variable, and then numeric less than or even. I think it's less than or equal to, sorry, and then add days now, and then minus 30. So you'll do the same for 60 as well, but I'm just going to do 30 for this example, and then that's going to trigger this automation. And then you want to use Twilio for the SMS. I don't know if there's any other sort of platforms, but yeah, this is where you make it so your phone number, the phone number that you're going to send. I'm not going to run through how to set up Twilio. There's probably lots of tutorials on YouTube, but yeah, you're going to need a Twilio account. You can use a testing one, which is free for, I think it's just free for as long as you want, but you have like a sort of watermark in your text messages. But yeah, you want to do 2 and then the phone number. So what's important about this is it has to be like a +1 or a +61 phone number. It can't be just like a, you know how you have to have the country code at the front of it, otherwise it won't work. So you make sure you have that in your Google Sheets. I had to make a sort of separate cell where it gets converted, but I won't jump into that. But yeah, as long as it has the area code, then it should work. And then you want to have the body, and then this is like an example of what you do. Hi, first name, so you want to have a bit of personalization. We spoke a while ago, we're offering a special offer right now. Reply, stop. I don't know why there's a typo there, but reply, stop to opt out. Should I send over the details? Something along those lines. It could be definitely better than that. I haven't actually specified what the offer is in this, but that's just for this tutorial. If you were doing a marketing agency, for example, we're offering SEO for $100 less or whatever your sort of offer is. And then that's going to send the message to them. Now, I'll go into the second one, and this is where they actually reply. So it's sending to BotPress, so that'll make more sense in a second when I explain what happens. So this is where the lead actually responds. So it's a watch messages to phone number, the same phone number you had before, and you don't want to specify the from because it could be any number, obviously. And then the limit, you can put it whatever you want. And then you're going to search rows, and you want to make sure that it's actually a lead that is in your CRM and it's not just some random phone number. So you just want to make sure formatted number is equal to one of the leads. So yeah, do equal to text. That's all good. And then now you want to route. So if the body of their text said stop, I don't know why I have this. I don't know why I have stamp, but if the text contains that, so you want to have case insensitive because sometimes they're not going to write full capital letters and stuff like that. So contains stop, then it ends. It's just going to update the CRM, and it's just going to say opt out true. So it won't be able to send any more. Sort of SMSs. But if they do actually say more details, so that's basically anything besides stop. You can make this more specific if you want them to say interested, or you can make a bunch of body conditions here, but I've just made it so if they don't say stop, if they say anything besides stop, it's just going to send the qualification bot to them. So you can obviously make that a lot more detailed. This is just for this example. And then you want to have a HTTP request, so an API to whatever platform you want to have your automated bot. So I'm using BotPress, so you want to get your bot sort of cloud. This is it's not too confusing to work out, but it takes some time. So I'm not going to go over how you actually get the API, but if you make a BotPress account, make a bot, and you add your Twilio API on, I think it's I'll jump in quickly and show you, but yeah, you want to set up your sort of HTTP, and you want to get a sort of nice JSON that has a lot of your variables, so BotPress gets a lot of information about your lead. And then yeah, you want to have a post, so it sends it to BotPress, and then that's the end of this. So I'll jump into BotPress now, and I'll show you. This is a very basic sort of flow, but yeah, what I was speaking about before was integrations. You want to make sure you have a Twilio integration, which is here. That's really important, and you also need to have a webhook integration. Otherwise, you won't be able to get make.com's sort of JSON information. So you need to have that. Otherwise, this won't work. So you need those two integrations. You can find them by just finding more on the hub. So how this happens is you just want to say something along the lines of, would it be mostly to improve sales, save time, whatever your offer is. So obviously you don't want to say, hi, how's it going? Because you've already had a conversation. So there's no point, you can just jump straight into like halfway through the conversation. And then you want to get AI to sort of just give a sort of AI response to whatever they answered. So like, for example, it'd be, if they said sales, it'd be like, that's a good choice. Sales is the most important part of business or something. It would just be like a friendly, short, professional response. I just want to copy everything I've got here. You can have different variable names, obviously, but yeah, you want to have a text that this will just say exactly what the AI sort of thought. So you need both of these. You can't just have an AI node. Yeah, I'm not going to explain all the BotPress sort of information. I'm sure you guys can find videos where it explains all the basics, but yeah. Now this is the next sort of question. I can get some things prepared for you, so can you easily see the options? Would mornings or afternoons usually work best? This is good because it doesn't let them opt out. It makes them sort of pick an option. If you said, do you want me to call you? Then they'll probably just go no. So you want to make it so they have to you don't really give them an opportunity to like opt out sort of. Would mornings or afternoons usually work best for a 5-10 minute phone call? It keeps it quite casual, and it actually doesn't really matter anyways, because we're going to jump in and say, easy if you can just find a time in my calendar. I've posted a link below, and then you want to send your calendar link here. So obviously that's with Calendly. This is Calendly here. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but it's the same as like Google Calendar or anything like that. You can create one of these really easily on the interface, and then just get the link, and then just paste it into the text here. Once you book, you'll get a confirmation with all the details. Looking forward to chatting. Let me know if the link works. We've been having issues with our calendar. Now this is the most important part, because this is actually going to sort of evaluate whether they did book a call or not. So copy this. I don't know if this is the most perfect sort of AI task, but it's what I've been using. So analyze user response to calendar booking link and classify it into one of three categories. So that's the workflow booking, which is that. Based on the response, output only a single number. Output 0 if the response indicates they successfully booked, scheduled, or confirmed an appointment. So if that's a positive response to that. Output 1 if the response indicates they had issues, the link didn't work. They're probably not going to have issues, to be honest, because I think Calendly works. But in case they have issues, they enter 1. And then 2 if the response is unclear, non-committal, or doesn't really indicate if they booked or not. So that's number 2. So thanks, I'll check it out. It will be 2. These are just examples. I booked it for tomorrow. That'll be 0. The link's broken is 1, and then output only 0, 1, or 2. This is important because you need you can only have sort of integers when you do your expressions, like your conditions. So you can't just have text conditions in bot prep, not to my knowledge at least. But yeah, so that's the input, which is that, and then the output is going to be booking integer. So yeah, and then you want to have some examples in here as well. This is really important, otherwise the AI is going to have no idea what to do. So examples are really important. And then if it works, workflow.booking dynamic value equals 0. It's going to send it up here. Awesome, I'll prepare some specific ideas based on what we mentioned. Talk soon. Issues, it's going to be the same thing. It's just 1 now, and then it's going to send them here. Try entering our preferred time and date, and I'll send it to our sales team, and then they enter the time manually, and then this will get sent back to Make, and then I will show you what happens. It's just going to get put into a sheet, so your sales team will get updated with the time here instead of them booking it into Calendly. This is probably never going to actually happen because I think Calendly will work every time, but in case they can't do it with the link, they will just enter it here, and then you want to just set up a module where it emails your sales team or whatever of like a potential booking. And then if they don't say anything, you just go, once you've had a chance to book a time, you'll get a confirmation email with all the details. So you just want to like sort of push them back onto the booking. This can be a lot more sort of nice. I mean, you can maybe make this like a Q&A and like keep on texting them, but it's probably not the best idea to be sending a million SMSs with AI, having full AI conversations in an SMS. You just want to sort of get straight to the point. And then after all of these 3 have happened, you want to send everything back to Make in an execute code. So this is what mine looks like. This is the webhook I'm going to be using. I'll show you guys what that means in a second. But yeah, you want to have all the variables you need. So you want to have the Twilio phone number so you can search rows back to the same lead, because otherwise you're going to get all these variables back into Make, but you're not going to be able to tell which variables line up with which lead, if that makes sense. So you want to have the backup time and the booking integer. So you're probably not going to have backup time. That's probably going to be 0 for majority of the runs of this, but the booking integer, you definitely need that. So Make can actually tell if you did a successful sort of booking. I mean, they're gonna know anyways because they're gonna get a Calendly invite, but it's good to update your CRM. Yeah, that's all of Make. Sorry if it wasn't very clear. It's a bit confusing if you don't know anything about the platform, but yeah, that's what we do for the actual AI conversation. And then now finally, I will go over the last bit, which is the receive from BotPress. So this is where the webhook comes in. That link I showed you earlier in the execute code, this is from this webhook here. So you just want to add a webhook and then find this link here. You just want to copy address to clipboard and then paste it into Make. With Make, you can just ask BotPress to make a code. So you just want to just write something like, give me a skeleton code for sending data from BotPress to Make, and it will create you a sort of skeleton code and tell you, and you have to write the variables you want into. So I said, create me a skeleton code from BotPress to Make, including backup time, booking int. And it basically will just create the code for you, and all you have to do is just paste your link in. Yeah, so you've got the link here. Now, as I said, it's going to search rows. It's going to get the phone number from BotPress, and it's just going to equal to formatted phone number so it can find the lead. Once it's found the right lead that has the same data, it is just going to update. So this is for if it's a 30-day lead, row number, 30-day sent true, and then this is for if it's sent the 60-day true, and then everything else is already done because you already got the Calendly link booking. So that's pretty much everything you need to know. You can obviously make all these CRM integrations a lot more detailed. You can add more specific like dates and what the response was, and you can add a lot more variables and stuff like that. But this is bare bones. It just gets the job done. It gets the calendar booking in, and it's basically a very simple version. You're gonna obviously make this a lot more automated if you're doing it for a client, or if you want to make this for yourself, obviously. But yeah, that's basically everything. So I hope you learned a thing or two about this SMS sort of re-engaging system. Hope the tutorial was clear enough for you to get at least the basics of how to make it. So I didn't run through all the sheets and the BotPress sort of little nitty gritty bits, but yeah, I think I covered it quite decently. I think you can always use ChatGPT and ask it how to do certain bits or watch other videos, but this is a really good sort of rundown of what I think is one of the most powerful inbound systems you can make with AI, and what is helping agencies and other sort of any business really in the modern day. I've seen a lot of businesses sort of apply this similar systems, and it's just gonna, as I said before, just re-engage so many leads you thought were long gone, and do all this sort of work in the back end. You don't need salespeople for any of this. You're just gonna wake up with extra Calendly links, extra sales calls in your calendar. It's basically a win-win really. But yeah, let me know what other sort of scenarios and systems you want me to cover. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'd love to answer. If you guys have anything you want to get clarification on. But yeah,